Ladies and gentlemen, we are now gathered to induct the newest member of the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. And you know, ladies and gentlemen, the reason why we are inducting our newest member of the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame, who, oh, by the way, now becomes a not two-time Sportswire Radio Hall of Famer, but a two-time Hall of Famer. No, he's not Justin Parsley. That's another place, another time. But the reason that we're here is because the last time our guest was here, he was scheduled in a match at August Rush against Comatose, then the triple champion, depending on how you want to label that. He would call him Dumatos. And, well, he actually said that if he won his match and took home that brand new BTW Continental Championship, he would go into the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame and become, well, a two-time Hall of Famer. Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? I'm going to tell you how it all unfolded. RTG is the newest Sportswire Radio Hall of Famer and becomes, well, the 89th member and the final member of our 9th class. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. But before I do anything, I would like to put a few words out there for the audience because obviously we've gotten a chance to know our friends here in BTW over the past few months. And I'd like to say a few words really to set the tables for us. Sure, it took a match to defeat Comatose, as he would call him Dumatos, to get into the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. But you know, ladies and gentlemen, this really was months in the making. It was months in the making because BTW has been one of those companies. You know, last night on Sportswire Radio, when I had talked with Aaron Blaze, the headline, Aaron Blaze, and we had talked about all these different companies and all these different places that he was to travel. Well, BTW used to be once upon a time a company that maybe went under the radar, but no longer. No longer because of RTG and his leadership. You can say what you want about him inside the ring, but there's no question that BTW is a company that now has a real following from everybody here in this platform. And ladies and gentlemen, that's important for a few reasons because last night I talked about, you might want to say, let's just say, well, maybe a new frontier, a Great West revival, as one wrestler that's had his own battles here in BTW said, and maybe our own new frontier of talents that might now want to call BTW as a place they want to find out what RTG has done in his leadership in bringing in some of the very best talents in the backyard wrestling circuit. And yes, this does happen from time to time. Unfortunately, I've done about 185 shows in the past 125 days, and well, my voice is catching up with me, but I can promise you I'll get through it. But the facts are, ladies and gentlemen, RTG in his leadership, he guided BTW to several thousand subscribers the first time before they had to, unfortunately, well, start over. And it didn't deter him. It didn't deter him because he's got a slew of great talents that are a huge part of BTW, such as the likes of RJS. Just don't wrestle him against Blackout. BES. Not too bad of a competitor there. How about some guy, Jacob Frost? Is he still struggling with Swift? Does he still want him one more time? How about those BCF3, those tag champs? But I don't know how much longer they'll be tag champs. Can never forget about Blackout. I mean, Blackout literally makes everybody black out in the ring, and he very well could be, pound for pound, one of the very best champions in our backyard wrestling circuit. Can never forget about Swift. I just mentioned him after all. Jacob Frost is always thinking about him. And what about this guy Comatose? I mean, what a story that was. And a man that was a triple champion, an interpromotional champion, a TV champion, and he was, well, a continental champion. But that's what the story is of BTW. BTW has brought in some of the very best, some of the very brightest that have gotten a chance to be seen in prime time, the brightest lights, the biggest stage, with some of the very best shows that you've seen, and the best, even better, is yet. As obviously you can see, RTG is a man that juggles many hats. Those hats, though, has led himself not only to be a Hall of Famer, but to give him yourself an opportunity to showcase the very best that now gets a chance to play in the backyard wrestling circuits. Premier Western Company, BTW. Ladies and gentlemen, BTW recently surpassed 3,000 subscribers. An amazing accomplishment. BTW has a lot to be proud of. BTW's got some really big shows ahead. All Out War 2's ahead, and I'm sure Mr. RTG is chomping at the bits to gloat about that. I'm sure that RTG is chomping at the bits to get ready on this show on the air. Usually, I do these speeches for about 15 or 20 minutes, but I could see, obviously, tonight I'm going through a little bit of a rough time. But before I do anything and officially induct our newest member of the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame, our final member of the 9th class, I want to come up with a quote that I use often to induct our members of the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame from our backyard circuit. And that's from Hillbilly Tilly, who, like RTG, is a general manager. He is the general manager in the great state of Alabama for the Alliance Wrestling League. And the line that he uses is that true yarders and true wrestlers do this for the love of this sport. They put their blood, sweat, and tears out there. And RTG, no question about it, whether you like him or you don't like him, he's given so many an opportunity to put their blood, sweat, and tears out there. He's been the definition of open collaboration. He's been the definition of all wrestling matters. And BTW is one of the premier companies around, and it's only getting better. And the best is yet to come. And that's why, ladies and gentlemen, I'm very excited about this one. And sure, maybe I was put under the gun to put RTG in the Hall of Fame, but you know what? It would have happened anyway. It would have happened a month after it, 2 months, 3 months. It would have happened because BTW is here to stay. Why is BTW here to stay on Sportswire Radio? In addition to being all wrestling matters, there's a term, quality over quantity. BTW, with their roster and some of their previous talents, Derek the Destroyer, who, oh, by the way, coming to Sportswire Radio very soon. Some guy you've heard of, Jack Delta, and a whole slew of other great talents have called BTW their home or passed through the doors of beautiful Roseburg, Oregon. And I have no doubt that next year at this time from now, there'll be a few names, as I mentioned last night on Sportswire Radio. I'll get to them at a different place in a different time, but those names like the Headline, Aaron Blaze, the Real Energy of Wrestling, D'Angelo LaFlame, maybe some others, they'll find out why BTW is quality over quantity. They'll find out why BTW is one of the premier companies around. And they'll find out why some of the very best have called BTW their home. I could go on and on and on about our guest, but I think he'll put blackout on me if I don't get to the show on the road. I'm going to now, ladies and gentlemen, introduce and induct our newest member of the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. But before I induct our newest member, the 89th member, and the final member of our 9th class, and since Comatose got that introduction, I know how much that burns at him, that, in his words, Dumatos got that introduction into the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame, I must give our guest that Hall of Fame-like introduction in prime time, the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the only platform where all wrestling matters, and also maybe cheer him up a little bit outside the ring because his San Francisco 49ers unexpectedly lost to the Minnesota Vikings. I won't rub that in. That's for the Friday night shows, 10 o'clock Eastern time. But ladies and gentlemen, it is my great honor to introduce a friend to all of us here in the backyard wrestling circuit and a wrestling company that has truly become a staple and a company that I enjoy each and every time I get a chance to watch their shows. And they're going to be coming up here in a matter of time, Tuesday, tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern time. I'll put that link up to make sure everybody else here joins the conversation. But it is my great honor to formally introduce the 89th member of the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame, our newest member and final member of the 9th class, that is the reigning defending BTW Continental Championship, and he finally wins that championship. In the new variation, he's our general manager and BTW Hall of Famer RTG. It's time to now give you that Hall of Fame-like introduction. So with that, without further ado, here on the Sports Report, number one global sports show. He's the reigning, defending BTW Continental Champion. He's the brains behind the Northwest Society. He's the general manager of one of the premier companies around the backyard wrestling circuit, the top backyard wrestling company in all of the West. He is certainly the man that's got the brains and the very best. Now, two-time Hall of Famer, our 89th member and final member of the 9th class. His name is simply put, RTG. The champ is here. Congratulations, my friend. You're the newest member of the Sportzwire Radio Hall of Fame.
Well, thank you, and thank you for that great honor. And, you should be honored to have me on here.
I should be, and I'm honored that my voice held up, actually.
I can see why you might be losing your voice.
I was really afraid because actually 2 days ago I was on the air with Sean Jovi, and I literally felt my voice crack. And somebody in the chat was like, I heard his voice crack. And I'm like, well, I've done almost about 185 shows in 4 months, and it's all consecutive days. But I'm glad that our voice held up. I will definitely get through the rest of the show. But I ask everybody this when we start these shows, and I see a bunch of people in the chat. So for those that are listening and watching here in prime time, the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the only platform where all wrestling matters, RTG. Now, what does it mean to you to be the newest member of the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame?
Well, it feels pretty good to be a not only Sportswire Hall of Famer, but a BTW Hall of Famer. So a two-time Hall of Famer. See that, Dumatos? Two-time. You're one-time, I'm two-time. Or maybe you get from your old company. I don't know. Maybe you got put into it or something. I don't know. But no, it feels great. I can hold that over everybody's head here in BTW. I'm the only Hall of Famer.
Yes,
roundabout
you're
way.
Timer. That's actually, a lot of people get to only be a one-time Hall of Famer, but yet you're a two-time Hall of Famer. That's got to feel good. And I mean, it's been quite a last couple of weeks for you. I mean, you basically kind of called your own shot here on Sportswire last month and got yourself into the Hall of Fame. I still contest it would have been a matter of time, but you said you were going to beat Comatose. You got the Continental Championship, and Comatose has got his own issues now, and you're looking for more gold, and you're a two-time Hall of Famer. It's a great way to be you now, almost, more or less.
Well, the only issue I see with I might have made it sooner or later is I would have had to go in like as a GM or owner or something probably, because had I lost to Comatose, I'd be retired. So there wouldn't be any more wrestling for me.
Well, that's true, but you still would have went in. I think I probably would have still put you in the Hall of Fame.
Eventually, right?
Put you in. There's no question
Maybe
about it.
The Legends or the Legends Hall of Famer somewhere down the line, right?
Well, we have Hillbilly Tilly in AWL, who's no longer an active competitor. He can't really wrestle physically anymore. He wants to. He's talked about he's not retired, but he hasn't wrestled in a very long time.
Right.
He's in the Hall of Fame as a general manager. So you still, I think you would have got him because of the success of the company. I don't think there would have been any denying it. You just basically got yourself in and called your own shot, which I think is actually, in a way, of all the Hall of Fames. And it's funny because you follow up Rad Dad, of course, the legendary Rad Hazard once upon a time in the GBYWN, and you follow him up. And ironically enough, that was a memorable induction. And then you called, I think you're the first person, if I'm not mistaken, to get their first Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame induction by calling their own shot. And that's what you kind of did. So in a way, I think that's kind of impressive. And I think it's impressive that my voice actually held up through that speech. And on top of that, you called your own shot. Congratulations. You're the first Sportswire Hall of Famer to have called their own shot and getting in the Hall of Fame. I think that's kind of cool in itself.
Yeah. Well, I just figured, you put him in. I figure, why not throw it out there and see what happens? If I can beat a Sportswire Hall of Famer, why shouldn't I be in there? And add a little something extra to the match. And so, that's why I did it pretty much.
Oh, you did. I mean, I'm gonna get to Comatose. I'm gonna put the match up here for sure in a few minutes onto the screen. But I think I want to do it and get it out of the way because I do want to present to you something that it kind of signifies you being in the Hall of Fame, because the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame, it actually is a real thing. And I've said this from the very beginning since we started it in November. November of last year was the first person we inducted into the Hall of Fame, was UK wrestling star R.P. Davis, the natural born fighter, the only person in that country's history to be a major boxing and wrestling world champion. We have a physical, actual thing we give every Hall of Fame, and actually, I'm sure you saw with Comatose, and we have a website which shows that. And I think it's time to present to you what physically shows how you're in the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. And I see our guest is having a lot of technical difficulties, but that's okay. I wanted to put it. It's one of those nights. But here it is, ladies and gentlemen. You are the newest member of the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. You got my John Hancock. You got today's date. You got the logo. I'll present this to you off the air, and congratulations. And it is an official Hall of Fame. I like to always say that in baseball, they have a Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, New York. In football, it's Canton, Ohio. Basketball, it's Springfield, Massachusetts. Hockey, it's Toronto, Ontario. But here in wrestling, for all wrestling matters, it's Sportswire Radio, and congratulations.
All right. Well, thank you again for this honor, and I hope I can live up to being a Hall of Famer.
I think you'll do just fine. We have a lot of Hall of Famers, and I think they all add a unique flavor to that. And I've also got one more thing I'm going to present to you guys on behalf of BTW, which I think in many ways is going to really signify just how special this night is. But we'll keep this up for a second. I know there's a lot of people in the chat still, so thank you very much for joining us here on Sportswire Radio. I will have an announcement about, I'd say, 25 or so minutes when it comes to another BTW guest. And I think somebody you're going to certainly have somebody you're paying really close attention to. But I think I want to go back in time. I want to go put that match up with you and Comatose, as you call him, Dumatos, for whatever that may be. But I think we know the reasons, but we'll still go along with it. But for those that are listening and watching here in prime time, the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the only platform where all wrestling matters, I am going to go put that match up here. And also, if you are out there, please support our friends at BTW. There are so many ways to connect with them: Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, a whole list of ways. I would highly recommend that you go out there and support them. And I'm going to go, for those that are listening and watching here, go up and put the match up. And there we go. There we have it. Okay, there you go. That's the magic of technical difficulties. Here we go. Yeah, well, it's, you know what it is, I can't see, but there we go. I need to get my eyes checked. There we go. That's why I love my crack staff. So there we have it. Got it right to the very beginning. And I mean, talk about what's going through your mind. Obviously, Comatose had a very difficult match afterwards, before this, and you've obviously got to be feeling very good because you're getting the aftershocks from what he's feeling. And talk to me about what's going through your mind here right now.
Oh, like I said, and I said it prior, I was playing chess. He was playing checkers. He wanted to be, multiple champion. So, the BTW television champion gets defended every week. So that's on him. He could have dropped it, could have, given it to Gabriel James, and he didn't. And he had what I wanted. So, just worked out for me. And I don't know, you don't hear it here, but at the beginning of this match, because I know he's going to come on here and, you had help from Gabriel James. It was 3-on-1 or 2-on-1 or whatever. I told Gabriel James to stay out of the match, that it was a 1-on-1. You notice I don't got Blackout with me. I told you he was on vacation, so he was out of the picture. Gabriel James went into business for himself. But you know what? That's what a mentee does when their mentor is teaching them what to do. So Gabe has learned from me even though I told him to stay out of it, it was a one-on-one. He went into business for himself, and I can't be mad about that, and I'm not going to sit there, oh, hey, Gabe, get out of here. I'm not going to win a title. Shit happens, and you got to just live with it.
You said something interesting, and I want to go back to that because Comatose has been on BTW TV defending championships for weeks. Do you think that wear and tear finally caught up to him? Because he's been in some really, really big matches. Swift and BES. I mean, he's had Steven Storm, and he's had some really top-of-the-line opponents. And do you think that wear and tear maybe finally caught up to him?
Undoubtedly. I mean, maybe it was planned to be that way. You ever think of that? Soften him up?
Actually clever. That's a clever. I hadn't thought about that. But Comatose was so confident. I mean, even when we had him here, you guys went back and forth, and he was so confident. But I have to, in a way, ask that question just because he's wrestled so many times in the competition that he's faced. I mean, he's faced some of the very best competition in the backyard circuit, in the entire backyard wrestling circuit. He would time and time again, what he went through to keep those championships. Maybe over time, it's kind of like my intro tonight on Sportswire Radio. I've done so many shows that my voice is finally, it's actually catching up with me a little bit. So maybe in a way, it's the same.
I just want to say something real quick there. I should have had that match done in the first 30 seconds if my freaking drunk referee would have been out there on time after those two splashes. Comatose should have been done, but he took a while to get out there and count that 3. So, I had to deliver more damage.
If you had lost that match and your in-ring career had ended, sir, would you have fired that referee?
I probably would have. I probably would have ripped his head off. He'd be no head, Diego.
But you're in the match now, but talk to me what's going through your mind now, because Comatose has got back up on his feet, and he's starting to get some offense in, on some very good offense, I may add.
Well, I got to give Comatose his flowers too. He is a great wrestler, and he brings a lot to BTW. I just want to say, he comes on here and he says doesn't have a contract with BTW. Yes. He wouldn't be in BTW if he didn't have a contract. I don't just bring anybody in and let him wrestle for the heck of it. He's under contract. So let's get that out there.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good to know. I mean,
maybe he doesn't think he's under contract or whatever, but he's on a contract.
Well, I guess he didn't read the fine terms,
fine print or whatever. Yeah. But nobody's just going to come in and wrestle.
And by the way, BTW has some of the very best around. I continue to say it time and time again. BCF3, RJS, BES, Blackout, Swift, Jacob Frost. Jacob Frost, he gets talked about every show I'm on Sportswire. Guys in other places. This guy, Justin Parsley, seems to take a liking to him. Jack Delta's talked about him, his history, all the big guys, all these heavy hitters in the backyard in the underground wrestling circuit. Jake Dvorak's talked about him. Aaron Blaze talked about him. All these big names and heavy hitters, they talk about him. Soldier GP knows who he is. Omen Black, Big Man Cam. I hear all the names, all the usuals that come on here. They know who he is. So there's no question that BTW is definitely, you might want to say, where some of the big boys play.
And, I'm not going to say who's coming for the next season, but we've got some big plans for some people that will be here. You guys will be surprised. So you'll need to, make sure you come and watch next season.
Oh, I'm going to be watching, undoubtedly. And I'm sure that there'll be names I'm sure I've probably heard of. But until then, I see right now that you are certainly taking out your own frustrations on Sportswire previous shows with Comatose here with him. And you've got quite a submission move in Comatose's place. And you might want to say you're butchering him, kind of like in his day-to-day job, more or less. You are butchering him right now.
Yeah, I wish he would have just given up right there, but then again, it allowed me to do some more damage to him later in the match. So.
You are slaughtering him. You are slaughtering him right now.
Yeah, and again, I'll give it to him. He didn't tap out to or fall asleep to my my camel clutch there. I mean, I've put Swift away before with that, so more
But
power
you're beating
to
him
him.
down with those punches. I tell you what, you are beating him down. You're almost beating him down like he beats down the meat when he's getting ready to chop it and prepare it for obviously consumption. I mean, that's just the best thing I can say. But Comatose right now looks like slaughter, and you are definitely taking your time here. We are watching RTG versus Comatose at the historic BTW August Rush show, which took place a few weeks ago. Please support our friends BTW on YouTube at BTW8136. They just recently surpassed 3,000 subscribers. They're also on Instagram, TikTok. They've got a merch store. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice, figuratively and literally. But this referee, what's going on with the referee? You talked about it earlier, but that had to be playing in your mind. And we see obviously your son coming in here, and boy, I mean, here we go. That's it. It's over.
Well, I thought
It's
that's why you were
over.
calling
It's over. Wait
to
a
tell me
minute.
about
We got a
Matt.
brand new BTW Continental
Yeah. Okay.
Champion.
Well, I told you to come and get me because I thought we had to drive him home.
But
Sorry.
congratulations, you've won it. And boy, ladies and gentlemen, Comatose has been proven to be Dumatose, and this is just now Comatose. This is now almost adding insult to further injury. You've done it. You've won the BTW Continental Championship, and it's obviously got to be special, especially after everything that you've said about Comatose, he said about you. And now at this point, Gabriel James is just adding in the fun, and boy, you've got it. You've got what, and boy, the referee got his punishment for the beginning of the match, and it looks like, boy, RTG. I mean, who can stop RTG? I have no idea. This is why you're looking at a two-time Hall of Famer, and boy, didn't even need Blackout for this one. And Comatose is in a world of hurt. It finally caught up to Comatose. His magical run of being a triple champion, it ends. And it ends in maybe a Swift-like way. A Swift-like way because he faced a storm like he hadn't faced. And he definitely now is feeling the frostbite. And definitely congratulations to RTG on winning that Continental Championship, first championship that he had in a new variation. And must be feeling so good to see that.
Oh, yeah. It was an exhilarating moment to catch this right here, win this. And you notice I'm wearing it proudly, but I don't know if you ever noticed when you had Comatose on when he had this championship. He never had it. He never showed it on TV or on Sportswire. He never showed this on the podcast. But
well, that's
I wear it proudly.
I have to say that is, and I did notice it at the beginning when I inducted you into the Hall of Fame, but that is very impressive, by the way. Some champions have their belts, others do not, but I have to say, you definitely know how to make an entrance, champ. You definitely know how to make an entrance.
And I will continue doing that. And speaking of entrances, I want to hand out some flowers too, and this is to Comatose's mom. Yes. I believe her name's Sheila, but I'm not positive, and if I mess that up, I'm sorry.
Sylvia.
And Sylvia, is that right? Sorry,
because I saw her in the stream for last week's show, and I've seen her.
Okay, yeah, I knew it started with an S, so sorry. No, I didn't mean to disrespect you or anything like that. I'm like Dumatose when he came on, the show before and brought my wife's name into it and, tried to get into my head by using my wife, showing disrespect. But Sylvia, thank you for everything you do for BTW, buying memberships for people and donating money every time we have a show. It really helps out. It's going to help out with the surprise that we're going to have next season for you guys. I'm not going to go into that. You guys can probably, if you're smart enough, you can figure out what's going to happen next season. But
yeah, we'll definitely talk about that, I'm sure, one day. Right now, we've got a lot to talk about here in the current, for sure.
But, and, you bring it up all the time. And, I put them down and stuff, but we do got a great roster, I'll put my roster up against anybody.
Pound for pound, this
And
roster that you've assembled, I think that's like any shrewd general manager. I mean, you think about football, right? The San Francisco 49ers, maybe pound for pound, have the best team in the NFL. And you have one of the best pound for pound feds in terms of a roster. The roster that you've assembled, BCF3, Swift, Blackout. I mean, you got Jacob Frost, you got RJS, BES, Comatose, Domatos, whatever you want to call it. I mean, you've got pound for pound just up and down this roster. I mean, just really some of the best talent in the entire backyard wrestling circuit. And we're really happy to talk and cover you guys. It's really a pleasure because what I see out there, I mean, this is quality over quantity, undoubtedly.
I will give Comatose his flowers too. He does put BTW out there a lot on his social
Instagram.
media and
Oh,
stuff.
he's always tagging me on Instagram. I'm like, don't worry, I'm a collaborator on the post. I'm a collaborator. Don't worry.
And so, that was a great contribution to getting us to the 3,000 subscribers. Congratulations to you on getting to 1,000. You did get to 1,000, right? Not quite. All right, you're almost there.
Almost.
But congratulations on 900 and whatever you got.
Yeah, 900. It's funny you said that though, real because I have something for you also. Yes, I see somebody in the back. But people are congratulating me. I'm like, I didn't get to 1,000 yet. People are like, congratulations, you did it. I'm like, I am at 900 something. I had somebody call me today. That's one of my listeners that sometimes listen to me on the internet radio that we're on. And I was like, you did it. I'm like, no, I didn't get it yet. She's like, no, you said it was congratulations. I'm like, no, I'm at like 900 and whatever subscribers. Like, oh, well, congratulations. I'm like, thank you. All right. But yes, you guys definitely earned that. And I have something I want to present to you in recognition of that 3,000 subscriber milestone. So congratulations there. 3,000 subscribers. You have that certainly from us here on Sportswire Radio. My John Hancock. I definitely worked very hard on those two signatures. I did actually. I really did. Some of them I don't work too hard on. Others, this one I really felt was a special one, and I'm really so happy for you guys. It's been great getting a chance to watch you guys the last couple of months and getting to know so many on the roster. Frost has been here, obviously Comatose, and you've been here, and there was a cameo from RJS, I think just now, and I'll have an announcement for somebody else coming here Thursday night, but I really can't thank you guys enough for your contribution to our sport, and I can't thank you enough for your contribution to our community, and I really, truly believe in what you guys do, and that's what we're about here, positivity and wrestling. We're now taking that directly. It's all wrestling matters. Together we win. Wrestling first, and I wanted you guys to have that, and I'll make sure you get the physical copy when we're off the air.
All right. Sounds good. Like I said, I think on our first time that I came on here, there's 4 things in life. You're going to get a long-winded answer from me. I got to pay taxes, die, and RJS will pop in. Yeah. I guess you could throw Comatose into that too, since he's been popping in lately.
How about this one? I'll make you laugh since it's your special night. RJS losing to Blackout. Always a guarantee, right?
Oh, yeah.
You did like that one. You definitely did like that.
Right. That's money in the bank right there.
Well, that's money.
Unintended.
Well, I'm going to get a little less money in the bank because the interest rates are going down, but that's okay. Everybody else will benefit from that except me. But I do want to get to some people in the chat. People want to say hello to you. I want to get to them because I want to transition because I have another announcement, BTW related. I'm going to get to that announcement right after the chat. So let's keep this on the screen. We'll say hello to everybody. Zilla, want to give it up to Zilla because Zilla now is a real person. She was on Instagram with Steven Storm about a week or so ago, and she's a real person. She's in every stream of BTW. She was so excited. In fact, she was on another show stream that was another company kind of like you guys in Kewanee, Illinois from STBW. She ran right over to Sportswire because she knows Sportswire is her home, and I appreciate that so much. We love Zilla, and Zilla wanted to congratulate you. And yes, congratulations to BTW. 3,000 subscribers is a major milestone. It's a major milestone because there are some big companies that come onto Sportswire that have some really big names in the underground circuit, the independent circuit, and they don't have 3,000 yet, and BTW did it. BTW got to 3,000. There are companies that have a long history in the backyard, and they don't have 3,000. They have it. That shows you this is quality. It doesn't matter what you wrestle on. The people will find good quality. BTW has it. This is why it's a good victory for everybody in the backyard circuit. Yes, we say hello. And Jacob Frost, who on Instagram did not have too many kind things to say about you. That's for sure. And here is Jacob Frost again. Yes, we see him. I'm going to get to this individual after we get to the chat. We get through it because I know you got a few things to say, and I have a few things to say. Ox McCoy gave the skull reference because he's a Vikings fan, I would imagine. He looks like a Vikings. Okay. Ox designed me a new logo, and he's basically lives in blood, reigns in blood, sends all of his messages in blood. And Ox is basically one of our favorites. So we'll give Ox a pass. But, we'll hope the 49ers and Vikings both have good years. Yes, we appreciate that. My buddy Dominic, who was on yesterday's chat, who is now here, he is the YBW champion in the great state of Pennsylvania. He's a streamer. He had a lot to say on his show for Young Breakout Wrestling. Earlier today, I was in their chat, Aaron Blaze's company, and he's wrestling Aaron Blaze in now 12 days from now. He says, hello, how you doing, Cam? Good to see you.
Well, thank you.
Yes, and I don't know what's the issue with notifications, but keep the notifications on. No, you keep the notifications on because that's how you know you're on Sportswire. I didn't even realize to think when this got brought up because people tell me, no, I know you're on live. I get the notification. I'm like, oh, I didn't realize that. So keep the notifications on. Zilla is a big fan of you, by the way. Big fan of Northwest Society.
I think RJF was talking about my turning off my ringer or whatever, so it doesn't ding when it.
Gotcha.
When my notifications come in.
Okay, because I was like, keep them on. That's the whole point. How's the leg doing?
How's what?
How's the leg doing?
Oh, the leg is fine. It's healed now. Thank you for asking. I'm gonna need it for my upcoming match. So
I'm gonna get to that. This person would like to say congratulations, very shiny. Thank you for letting us know that. We appreciate that. We appreciate you. RTG, here are your flowers for being a new champion in BTW. All right, thank you.
Well, Zilla, here's your flowers for being a fan.
Zilla, I don't know how. I got to be honest. I don't know how Zilla does it. You know, I saw RTG just for a second, if I could. I saw RTG and Ace Reed's stream for BWDU in Australia. I've seen her in the streams for TBW. You guys every Tuesday, big show come. I'm going to put that link up in a second. I seen her in WCE stream. I seen her in STBW stream. I see her everywhere. NEW, I've seen her. I know how Zilla does it. Zilla is like 24 hours on every stream, and I love it. I love it. We need more Zillas. We need more Zillas in the backyard wrestling circuit. That's for sure. Yes, thank you for that. Okay, Jacob Frost didn't like that very much. I'm going to get to Jacob Frost later. Yes, still don't know about who the second person is. Well, you're going to have to find out. Yes, hello to Ox McCoy. Okay, time to take this off the stream because I want to get to a couple of things of business. Well, you know what? Maybe I'm going to save my Thursday announcement for recapping something else because I want to get to last week's show before we get to tomorrow's show. So let me put that up on the screen here for those that are watching here on Sportswire Radio. So we're going to do that also. Before I do that, also, let me put up the BTW banner. So if you'd like to follow BTW, here is a whole list of links. So please check out BTW. You can do that on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, TeePublic, just like how Mrs. Comatose's mom goes out and does the super chats. You want to help BTW? Merchandise store. Get your shirt. That's the way to help BTW. There's a link right there. Go out and support BTW. Please support them. There's so many ways you can help, whether it's a super chat, a like, a share, whatever it is. Please support our friends in BTW. Everybody needs it. It's all wrestling matters here. Okay, so now I've got what I want. I'm going to put the link up here on the screen. I know you don't want to see Comatose, so I'm not going to do that. Yeah, you don't want to see Comatose's last match. But what I do want to get to here is I'm going to pause it right now because I got exactly what I want. There we go. Thank you very much. That's it here. So you see this here now. Now, BTW Tag Team Championship match coming out of All Out War. You know, you don't seem to stop at just one belt. It seems like RTG, you want two belts now. And I mean,
I want all the belts.
Well,
I want every belt.
Stop. Yeah, I'm sure you do, but you got one.
I want every belt in BTW to be in the Northwest Society.
I'm sure you do, but right now, I'm looking at those shiny tag team championships held by the BCF3, and you seem like you want a piece of those.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they're almost as nice as this Continental Championship. And, you know, with Freebird rules, it'll look nice around. I would be a two-time champion. Blackout would be a two-time champion. and Gabriel James would be a one-time champion, but that could be rectified with possibly a BTW television championship or the inconsequential BYW, interpromotional championship.
You've had certainly your opinions of that over the past few months on sports. Yes, you've certainly had your opinions on that. They've been well documented.
But
obviously, this could mean another feather in the cap, and to take gold away from the BCF3. And what makes you think then that you can beat the BCF3? I mean, they've got some heavy hitters in their own right. I mean, they're certainly very tough competitors, and they're going to bring a lot, and they're going to do everything they can to keep those championships at All Out War too.
Well, I mean, yeah, they got some big guys. I mean, you got Mad Jackass.
Oh,
he's a pretty big guy. Couldn't get the job done against Comatose.
I think one of the biggest guys in the circuit. Another pound for pound, one of the biggest guys in our circuit.
You got Mickey D. I mean, he might bring out some Big Macs or quarter pounders, handing them out. Maybe he needs to lay off of them. And then you got, I don't know, stepping on whatever. Stepping on a storm. I got to come up with something for him, but off the top of my head right now, that's the best I can come up. Steppenwolf, I don't know, but
I don't think he'll get that reference. You do realize it's a younger generation there. I get the reference because I'm a music savant and I studied music theory in college as a minor, but I don't know if the rest of the chat will get that reference.
Well, I mean, he came out with the what was it, New Jack City thing. True. While ago or something in the chat or something like that somewhere. I don't remember what it was, but but you look at what our team brings to the table. You got the Continental Champion, me, the greatest guy in BTW. Others think they're greater than me, but they're not.
Only two-time Hall of Famer now, huh? Only two-time Hall of Famer.
Yeah, the only Hall of Famer in BTW. You got the Munster Blackout, our BTW World Heavyweight Champion. That's an indestructible monster. He can't be stopped. True. Unless he's cheated. That's the only way he gets beat is somebody cheats or pays off a ref or something. And then you got the up and coming Gabriel James. He's getting better. He's not the greatest.
Listen, Rome wasn't built in a day. Everybody has to start somewhere.
He's learning from the best, though. So
only two-time Hall of Famer, only BTW Hall of Famer, the man that currently has the BTW Continental Championship. So I suppose that, you ain't wrong.
So you put that all up against the BCF3, who are, they're pretty good. But when it comes down to main event and, the big-time matches, they always seem to come up a little short when they're facing somebody good.
So you feel that basically based on their track record and their lack of success against, let's say, in bigger matches against bigger tiered guys, that it'll be the same result for you. Is that what you're telling me?
Exactly. I believe all three have lost to Comatose and for television championship matches.
And you've beat Comatose, so then for you it should just be a short day in the park, more or less. Short, easy work day, right?
Yeah, exactly. And then, and if you go to the BCF channel, who's their new world heavyweight champion over there? BES.
Your talent, your guy. So, if BES can do it,
why can't I do it?
But are you so sure, though? Are you so sure that? I'm sure that they're hearing some of the things you have to say because the chat now is popping. The chat now, there's a lot of banter right now going back and forth. Would you fall into the same, let's say, trap that Comatose had against you a few weeks ago, even, or not concerned about that?
I can't fall into the same trap because the next match I lose
is the end.
Regardless if it's a Continental Championship, if my team loses this tag team championship, I'm gone.
Well, but do you think about that still often or no?
It's what motivates me to keep winning.
So you like,
of course, I'm thinking about it.
You like to be under the pressure then. Some people listen.
Oh, yeah.
You see it all the time. Listen, in sports, right? There are certain athletes that they perform in the best, in the bright lights, the biggest stage, prime time. Those who were NBA fans, there was a player, Robert Horry, and Robert Horry was, well, he was an average player, but he was big
Average
shot.
player until it was big shot time.
He
Then
was
he
big shot Bob. All of a sudden, the game's on the line. He must have had what, 17 game-winning shots in the second round or later. And there are some people, we see it all the time in sports. They all of a sudden rise to the occasion. And
he's the reason my Sacramento Kings don't have a world championship right now. Game 5, Kings were up by 2 points.
In the Western
And
Conference.
you notice in the Western Conference Finals, you notice who's behind me.
Yes.
And Vlade Divac, for whatever reason, instead of grabbing the rebound, swats it right out to him at an open three-pointer at the buzzer. We lose. They win the next game, or we win the next game. It was 3-3, and they end up winning and beating the Nets in 4 games. We would have beat the Nets. Maybe not in 4 games, but we would have beat the Nets, and the Kings would have.
But you're telling me then basically again that you under pressure, you're just going to annihilate these guys. And wait, I think, ladies and gentlemen, do I see something there that looks to me, and is that one of your champions, your man that's sitting right behind you? Is that Mr. Blackout himself? Is that what I'm seeing?
That is Mr. Blackout, and he's telling you what he
Blackout
thinks
is
about
here
it.
making his first appearance on Sportswire Radio. Boy, I didn't have that one on my scorecard. I didn't have on that with my moments. I mean, I would have thought Comatose would have been here. Maybe Comatose is he's sulking in defeat. I mean, maybe that's what Comatose is. I would have thought Jacob Frost would have been here, but I think he'll be here for another time because I have an announcement that's going to certainly maybe make him soul a little bit. But we've got Blackout there, and Blackout's going to ensure that you're going to have more gold, and your career is going to continue, and your career is going to continue for the next, 10, 15, 20 years. And maybe you'll never lose again. Maybe, listen, Roman Reigns' his reign finally came to an end. Maybe you're going to have a run that Bruno Sammartino would wish he would have had.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe I'm 4 more years. Sammartino was like 8,000 days or something like that?
It was like 8.5 years.
Yeah.
It's like who knows?
Yeah.
Listen, I mean, if you got Blackout, I mean, listen. Listen.
Oh, yeah.
Ed Jack and Steven Storm. I mean, let's forget about it. BCF3. I mean,
not only is he a monster, but he's a great masseuse.
Well, obviously, you know what? Whatever it is, no arguments here. I mean, Blackout shown why he reigns supreme, and we see the champion even coming closer. I mean, so maybe should you tell us that more or less that with you've got Blackout by your side, All Out War 2, should BCF3 just forfeit the titles? Do you think they should forfeit?
Oh, it would be smart, and they wouldn't have to go through all the pain they're going to get that's going to get inflicted on them. But they're not too smart, so they'll show up.
Are you sure they'll show up?
Yeah, the light bulbs aren't too bright in those heads. Let's put it that way.
Well, what if I were to say to you, you certainly have a lot to say, champ, about what's to come at All Out War 2. And we'll put up the link one more time for people to go out and check. And also check tomorrow's show, which is a lot I think you're going to want to see when it comes to where we go from here at All Out War 2. But what if I were to say to you, champ, that Thursday night in prime time, the brightest lights, the biggest stage, one half of those tag team champions, Steven Storm, is live 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 7:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and he's going to have a few things to say about what some of you had to say about him and his guys in the BCF3. What do you think about that? What would you have to say about that?
Well, frankly, I'm not at all worried about him and his BCF3. Again, I got this right here. BTW World Heavyweight Champion.
Yes, champ. We certainly don't want you to do what you've done to everybody else in BTW. We certainly want to pay our respects to Mr. Blackout. We don't want to.
And I've got the next generation, Gabriel James.
We certainly want to pay respects to Gabriel James because, I will point out before we went on the air, my previous stream, our wrestler Psychotic Freak from North Dakota was in a neck brace. And I did specifically say to everybody watching that show that this is an example of when you make the wrong decision and you do the wrong things in the backyard circuit. So certainly when seeing Black out there, we certainly don't want to go forward to that same trap. We don't want to make the wrong decision, the wrong move. We want to pay our respects to our BTW champion.
Yeah.
We appreciate that. Yes, we appreciate that.
Right.
Yeah. But not worried about Steven Storm coming to Sportswire Thursday night and addressing some of the things you have to say and talking about what's ahead at All Out War 2. Not too worried about that then.
No. That's just going to be a joke.
A joke. Why is it a joke? Why? Why would it be such a joke?
Because they think they can beat me. They think they can stop me from taking their titles. That's a joke.
But they're
Northwest Society is unstoppable. We are it in the backyard wrestling. We are the faction to be in.
I agree with that right now. I mean, yes, I'm in agreement. There's no question what you guys are doing. I mean, I wouldn't want to be anybody in your way. I would want to just move and just, as we said on the show with Psychotic Freak, we just get out of the way, move. If we have money in our pocket, give it to you. We'll move on, and we'll certainly call a truce. But I mean,
let's put it this way: I would be more worried if we were taking on Trace Spideys.
Well,
I mean, they got these webs they shoot at you. You know, they might get in my eye. I might go blind or something. I already wear glasses.
Yes, but Halloween season's not yet. But isn't that a little disrespectful toward the champs? No, not at all.
Well, maybe. I mean, they might think it's disrespectful. I don't, because we'll be the champions, and then it'll be respected. Those titles will be respected when Northwest Society has them around their waist. Right now, they're a little inconsequential. They become consequential when we wear them.
So really, at the end of the day, they're just leasing those championships, but you're going to be, along with the rest of the Northwest Society, the rightful owners. That's what you're telling me right now. Exactly.
I mean, they should have just been quiet, and not talked any shit or smack to me. And then maybe those titles wouldn't have been on my radar, but, I forget which one it was, but one of them opened their mouth and now they are on my radar.
Well, Steven Storm has certainly been making the rounds in different streams on Instagram, and he's a well-known talker. So I have no doubt that he's not going to take this lying, and he's going to have a lot to say. And also, he's going to have his own problems because he's wrestling also that aforementioned Jacob Frost guy, from my understanding.
Yeah, well, I was just notified that it was Steven Storm. That's the one that, was talking shit. So
yes. Oh, I know about that because I've seen Steven Storm on Instagram. I've seen him here. He's become a regular in this chat the last month or so. So Steven Storm definitely has a lot to say. And I mean, if you thought Comatose had a lot to say, wait till Steven Storm is here Thursday night, 10:30 p.m. Eastern time, 7:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. But before I get to the chat, I'll let the chat have a say. You're not worried, though, about the BCF3. Not at all, correct?
Nah. Okay. Not at all. Nothing to worry about. This is how worried I am. We could probably start Gabriel James off it in the match against him.
You're that confident, boy. You're that confident.
I'm that confident. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but I'm just saying we can probably do that.
That's a very wise move on your behalf because I'm going to get you here next month, and we're going to, I'm sure, talk about the fallout from this. And if you, for whatever reason, your in-ring career is over, and we're going to look back, and if you basically told the BCF3 what you were going to do, I would have said, boy, that could have been the downfall as to why your in-ring career is over. But that's a wise move on your part to not tell everybody what you're going to do. I am sure the BCF3 is in the house right now still.
And they're around, but who cares?
Okay.
I'm not worried at all about them.
Not worried about
Again, okay. I got this by my side.
That's true too. But they got size in their own right. They do have the size advantage.
They got size. They got the size advantage. I got the Munster advantage. I got the brains advantage. And I got the youth advantage.
Triple threat. So you're the true triple threat, unlike what Comatose was, right?
Right.
All right, let me get to the chat. I
No
got a lot of
brains there.
comments. I got a lot of people that want to tune in and they want to talk to you. So let me
All right,
go.
bring them on.
Let's bring on. Now I knew this would be a hot topic. People were like they want to get to the point. We got it. Okay, let's go here. First of all, Jacob Frost has something to say. I'm gonna drop that doofus Mad Jack on his, let's just say, his head. Though I am still feeling the effects of the matches against Swift and RJS. Jack's size might matter here, but I'm the greatest man to ever live. You're the greatest man to ever live? I mean, for a man that's been dealing with his own issues, is that, what do you say on that? I mean,
Blackout can't even believe that comment from him. I can't believe that comment. He's barely a man. What, he just turned 19 or 20 or something? I'm the greatest man in BTW. So Jacob Frost, just shut your hole. Maybe work towards, finally beating Swift. But you just need to just worry about Mad Jack.
I suppose I could make you laugh in saying that he's got sort of what resembles a Jack Daniels logo, but he wouldn't be legally able to drink Jack Daniels, right?
No. But he's got friends in low places, so
I'm gonna say let's get to more comments because I see the chat is heating up. So let's get to the chat. Let's go, Frost. We're counting on you tomorrow. Certainly not your comment, I would imagine. Certainly that's not your comment. You don't enjoy
no,
stuff.
that's probably that chump RJS.
I couldn't confirm or deny. Let's move on. That I'm going to agree with, though. It's going to be a banger. And I have tomorrow's card. I have that I'm going to put up after we get to the chat. Steven Storm, though, says, I will smack the wrinkles off of you, punk. I don't see any wrinkles on you, though. There's no wrinkles.
There's no wrinkles here. See, this is what I'm talking about. They're dumb. They see things that aren't there. I mean, the only wrinkles I see are on the BCF3.
I think he's confused with the fight between Judas the Evil Angel and Darkron in Ohio. I think he's watching. That's another show on Sportswire. That's another episode. That's like sometimes when people watch the wrong Saturday morning cartoon and they're like, oh, I confused Looney Tunes for like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. This is a different show. We're in Oregon. That's in Ohio. But we'll move on here. That was the Backyard Havoc. We're talking about All Out War 2. Call me Mikey D again. I'm going to beat you like you stole something.
Okay, well, I think he meant Mickey D, not Mikey D, because isn't his name Mikey D? But okay, again, the brains on these guys, okay?
Well, if you have any brains, hit the sub button for BTW and Sports.
And
on the road to 1,000
hey, Mikey D, don't steal my Big Mac, all right?
What do you, well, I mean, we'll have to see. You want fries with that?
Hey, I'll take fries if he's got them.
I do like the fries, but if you are here, hit the sub button for BTW and Sportswire. I'm on the road to 1,000 subs. And after I defeat Mad Jack, I'll be responding to this guy, Stefan Storming, or is it Storming Steven? Stefan Storm, BTW, help me out. What's my opponent's name again?
Well, I'd go with like I said, Steppenwolf, but
Born to be wild. Born to be wild.
Born. I was born to be wild.
My uncle, who was a motorcycle enthusiast, he actually used to he would ride out to that song years ago. Yeah, he came out to that song. But Jacob Frost says, after the event tomorrow, I'll be uploading something to my Instagram, and you're welcome. Tag me on Instagram. Anybody in BTW, you want to put something out on Instagram, I'll share it on my page. I have almost 2,000 followers, and also the PWF page, PWF_network. So anybody in BTW, you want to share something, add me as a collaborator. We need more.
Well, Frosty, I'm hoping that you win tomorrow, so it's something good.
So that he won't be as frosty. But yeah, well, Blackout's here right now, so thank you very much. Me and my tag partner are going to beat the Northwest Society. Ooh.
Oh my God!
We're behind in comments, so I have a lot to get through. So just bear.
I ain't got all day to These guys are
you're a busy man. You have business decisions to make. You have conference calls, championship celebrations. It's Steven Storm, Jacob Frost. Yes, thank you, Zilla.
There you go, Jake.
Steve's. Well, BES only won because he had help. I was whooping his butt.
It doesn't matter who was on top at the end. Who got the 1, 2, 3? Who's walking out champion? Cry, cry, cry. Evidently, BS learned something from me and was playing chess, and you were playing checkers, buddy.
There you
All right.
go with that chess and checkers quote there, champ. That's the quote you live by. Certainly, he who lives by the
He
sword.
outthought him.
I hear a whole lot of talking, but no action. But you got Blackout here. You brought Blackout live to Sportswire. It seems like you got the action.
Mikey, how can there be any action? You're wherever you're at, wherever we're at here in Roseburg, Oregon. Come tomorrow, or an all-out war at the end of the month, September 30th, you'll see where we're at when we're taking those titles off your ass.
Well, we'll find out. There is one guy who's not my favorite wrestler. It's BES.
Yeah, I'm sure BS will be sad to hear that, Zilla.
And Frost has a comment. I'm just going to leave it like this. There you go. There you go.
Yeah, well, that needs to tell you all you need to know about Blackout right there.
I see it. Trust me. Is Blackout using a phone? I thought he was a Neanderthal. Well, I think you've provided him one, obviously. Correct?
Well, Jacob Frost, you're treading on some deadly ground there, buddy.
Keep ground.
Get under his skin.
We are bringing out Steven Seagal movie references. There we go. I think BCF will retain.
Well, that's your problem, Lou Dizzy Vlogs, is that you're thinking we live in reality, they won't retain, so stop thinking, okay?
Well, I hope Loud Izzy Vlogs, you were here Thursday night, 10:30 p.m. Eastern time with us with Steven Storm, and if you're here, hit the sub button for me, because I am trying to get to 1,000, where RTG can actually congratulate me for real. But who? That's what Jacob Frost wants to say. Oh, my opponent, right, there you go, okay. Zilla loves Blackout, and Zilla loves the BCF3. That's Zilla. What can we say? Zilla gets a pass. Justin Parsley, a man that he's from another promotion. He's actually 1/3 of a company that I own, the PWF. He is the PWF World Champion, and he seems to be keeping an eye on Jacob Frost for whatever reason. He's in the state of Indiana, but he says, "Go Frost yourself, America, us, and good evening to you all." Okay. Interesting comment. I'm not sure who's that directed to, but he's in Indiana.
Maybe he wants a piece of Frosty there, huh?
I don't know what he wants, but he's been paying attention to him. He's certainly paying very close attention these days.
If you want, Justin, if you want to come out to Roseburg, Oregon, and get a piece of him, come on out.
Well, he is my champion. I'm sure we can make a deal. You're a businessman. I'm a businessman. I'm sure that we can arrange that next season. I'm sure that Mr. Parsley, if we can figure out the logistics, I'm sure we can talk about that. I'm excited about the BCF3. Steven Storm is coming on the show. I'm very excited about that, but I know that RTG won't be tuning into that one. I know that RTG will be having other plans that night for sure.
Maybe not. I usually tune in when there are BTW guys on here.
Yeah, I actually have gotten a lot of BTW guys, but we see BTW tune in all together. Youth advantage, #doubt. Blackout can't even read the word champion on his title. I don't want to hear from him.
You're working towards getting a beating that you're not going to want there, Frosty. And I do believe you can read champion.
Did you guys give him a McFrosty? Did you guys give him that as part of a contract, or does he want a McFrosty? Because he's very frosty tonight. He's very frosty. You know?
Well, he probably set something up with the BCF3 Mickey D. So they're probably in some kind of merger, relationship or something there.
They are talking about a lot of corporate mergers these days. I'll move on though.
Frost is the Frosty, so he's Wendy's. Wendy's and Mickey D going together there.
That's true. I did think about that the other day. Speaking of owners, my former predecessor, the man that owned the Promo Wrestling Federation and the owner of ROEW just reached 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. Congratulations to the guys. They're going to be here Friday night, 9 o'clock Eastern time. They'll go into the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame alongside you, Mr. RTG. James Taylor is in the house. He is the owner of ROEW. He says hello to everybody. Yes, and James Taylor says hello. Ox McCoy calls people trampoline. He's joking. Ox is a sense of humor. That's okay. Mr. Darkron is here from the great state of Ohio. He is the man that is hosting the Backyard Havoc, which I know he's always keeping an eye on things. And he's also the host of Summer Bash. He is a part of ROEW and DKW, so the chat is popping. Got a big turnout here tonight. People are tuned in. They're fired up. They because I've been mentioning BTW for weeks. Hello to Dark.
You got me, so
Well, that's true too. Not comatose, right?
Exactly.
Deadly Ground Brother is going to send a 5-year-old. I don't think Gabriel's 5. And a guy that can't read after me, I'm just shaking in my boots. Gabriel's not. That's not fair. He's not.
No, he's not 5. He's double that plus a year. I don't even know. I don't know if Frost could figure that out.
Oh, so
I know definitely Mikey D can't, and Steven Storm and Mad Jackass. I know they can't.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna have Steven here Thursday night, so I'm sure Mikey and Mad Jack will have a lot to say.
All right. For sure. So you can ask him, that question. What's 5? If Gabriel James is 5 and he's double that plus 1, how old is he?
That's a good point. I didn't realize I'd have to go bring out my arithmetic, but I will certainly do that for sure. Just so you know, Lou Dizzy is my brother. Thank you, Lou, for tuning in. We hope that you tune in Thursday and hit the sub for us on Sportswire. I am on that road to 1,000 subs, and I'd like to get there. So RTG can roast me on Sportswire Live and congratulate me. He likes Mr. Frost. That's why. I see. He's a fan of Jacob Frost. That's why he called you a geezer. I see.
Okay.
He likes Jacob Frost. I told you, Jacob Frost, he has some eyes on him. Justin Parsley, Ox McCoy. I see that here.
Well, you know what? It's because he's part of BTW and he got to put himself out there.
Yeah,
he would. True. He was. If he didn't come here, he wouldn't be as hot as he is.
And that's a very good point. And I see that's a very, very shrewd businessman like RTG recognizing what's best for business. You said that many times. Sorry to BTS, but his gimmick is not doing it for me. His in-ring work is doing it for me, though. I will say that. But also, Mr. Parsley has a rather bizarre comment. Frost has a lot of potential, but we're 7 deep as is. Okay. BES is indeed the coolest in the yard, in my opinion, the most talented person. Yes, I think his in-ring ability is top tier. Yes. And I don't know what BTW management or whoever it might be posting that. And it's RTG, Justin. Our fight is only one flight from happening, but don't take off when I get there. Or he said RTG. He apologized. It's okay. Also, Ox said he's old as well. So the good news is that Ox is old too. So it's okay.
I'll admit I'm a geezer, but I'm still doing it. I can still get in there.
I'm not a geezer, but I want to get a plug in because I've got a lot to plug before we move on. Because a lot of people here tonight, a lot of people are tuned in on YouTube. Thank you very much for tuning in. But I will say that this is what I want to plug because tomorrow, because I see a lot of people here in the chat, I got a big show coming up, and obviously I see what's there. And do you want to set the table for us for tomorrow?
So, as you can see in the thumbnail there, I guess I will be showing Mikey D some action.
And not the variations of a Big Mac with fries or a McFrosty, correct?
No. It'll be pain. Lots of it. And you notice I got Frosty there taking out Mad Jackass.
Yeah, when you got the camel clutch and you got, obviously, Jacob Frost. And I guess then this will be maybe an entree to what's to come at All Out War 2 from what you're telling me then.
Yeah, and I'll have an announcement about my defending my Continental Championship tomorrow on the show.
Double duty potentially?
Probably not. I'll probably just be there for support in the tag team match. They don't need me, but I'll probably be out there, if needed, kind of as basis if needed. But they don't need me. Who knows? I might not even go out there.
Don't want to take a chance out there. Don't want to risk it, right?
I mean, Mad Jackass might not even make it there.
Well, I feel like I'm hosted like the Jay Leno Tonight Show rather than Sportswire because I think the jokes have been all night long here. But I mean, so really, then are we about to see the demise of the BCF3 if tomorrow is any indicator? Is that what you're telling me right now? That this is the beginning of the BCF3?
They may not be in any, They might not even make it there in one piece. Let's put it that way. I plan on putting a hurting on Mikey D. And Frost, he always brings it. He doesn't always win, but he always brings it.
So really, I mean, Steven Storm, I mean, he's in for a lot of trouble then if he's going to go out and face Jacob Frost. I mean, that's a steep, figuratively and literally, a steep mountain to climb then, more or less.
Yeah. So, good luck to Steven Storm. I, see a storm coming for Frost, but, he'll frost it up and put the storm down, I guess.
Boy, we've had references tonight of Swift and Frost and Storm and Mickey D's, Mikey D's, and Domatos, Slaughters, Butchers. We've had all the things. So really, then it goes back to what I said a little while ago on Sportswire was that maybe the BCF3 shouldn't show up after all Out War 2, let alone if they make it after tomorrow.
No, like I said, if they were smart, they wouldn't. But, the light bulbs are out up there, so I expect them to be there.
But really, if the light bulbs were there, they would know what's best for them and just
they would know not to show up, or ask to be booked in a different match. They'd probably just hand the tag team championships over and say, we don't want to go through the pain of losing. Here.
Well, I tell you what, we'll find out here. And also, we're here for about 15 or 20 minutes with RTG. He is the newest member of the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. He is also the general manager of BTW. He is the Continental Champion. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice figuratively and literally where all wrestling matters. And if you're on Sportswire Radio, we're also joined by Blackout. He is the reigning defending BTW champion of the world. He is the man that sits on top right now of the mountain in the backyard circuit. And if you're here on Sportswire Radio, please hit the sub button for me at BTW 8136. I'm also here tomorrow, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, with the legendary Sick Rick of the Global Backyard Wrestling Network. They're reuniting one more time. They're going to have a huge show coming up in Pittsburgh next weekend. It's a 2-day show. It's going to be him and Marco Senafonte. I'm very excited about that. If you're a fan of backyard wrestling, after you watch BTW 136, hang out with us, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Sportswire Radio. And if you're also here, I am on that road to 1,000 subscribers. I feel like I'm campaigning once again for political office because I am trying to get to 1,000 subs. I have people praying for me, calling and thanking me and texting me. But in the meantime, if you are here for the first time, hit the sub button for me. I'm on that road to 1,000 subs. So, okay, so pretty much then, tomorrow is on the road to All Out War 2. And this landscape really, I mean, with what I've seen right now, Comatose has got his own problems. I mean, Jacob Frost, I mean, he's going to, from what it seems like, he's going to basically annihilate Steven Storm. RJS is going through his own situation. And then there's BES. But really, it seems to me like the Northwest Society reigns supreme. And really, everybody else, it's all Storms pretty much ahead. Because you guys, if you get basically what you want, it's going to be swift punishment for everybody that's basically in your way right now. Is that what I see right now on this road to All Out War 2?
Yeah, we're going to leave a trail of bodies. It's like stepping on a bug. We're going to step on bugs all over the place. And, after All Out War 2, I'll still have this championship. Blackout will still have that championship, and we'll have tag team gold with us.
What would it mean to you then? What would that mean to you to hold those BTW tag team championships? What would that mean to you?
Yeah, we got that would be like, gosh, just shows that. Like I say, we are the most dominant faction in the backyard. I mean, the BCF3 think there's something. If the other people here were smart enough, they would probably form some kind of coalition to try and combat us. But that ain't happening.
That way. They seem to be fighting. I don't want to say themselves, but they don't seem to be organized in that sense.
Everybody hates everybody.
Well, that's kind of 2024, in the real world. That seems to be the common thing.
But Northwest Society, we're a family. We got each other's back. We stick together, and we do what needs to be done to make sure we keep what we have earned. And,
Okay.
we don't care who gets in our way and what we have to do to stop them or get rid of them.
Some strong words there. Okay, let me get to some comments here before we move on. BES is a talented person in BTW, but his gimmick is not doing it. And it looks like here, I believe he's talking about Lou Izzy is the newest member of BCF and an enforcer. Did you know that at all? That's something you heard about?
No, but again,
Doesn't matter to you.
what's he gonna enforce? That Mikey D hands out the right McDonald's food.
They are actually having the large sodas are on sale now. Large drinks are on sale for the time.
Yeah, well, I guess it depends on which frickin' McDonald's you go to, because here in Oregon they're all $1.49.
They
used to be
$2 like 2 months ago. So
they used to be $1 and they raised the price to $1.49.
Yeah, well, I do remember as a kid when we went to McDonald's, it wasn't too often. It was like a big deal. It was two burgers, fries, and a large Coke was like $4. Now I'm
Yeah.
sure
now that's like the price of a large fry.
Pretty much.
Or a medium fry.
That's that. Yeah, good point. We'll move on here. Ox can share gluttony. Biggest brain in the room goes to, I think, himself, and he puts Ox as the most gracious. Jacob Frost would like to say, Mad Jack and I will be a fight. Nothing pretty, of course. My back hurts from carrying BTW on my back because BCF3 can't cut it. But I'm sure you don't agree with that because you have Blackout. You've been carrying BTW. He's the one that sits on top, don't you think?
Yeah. You don't hear him complaining about his back hurting, all the stuff he's going through. I'm not complaining about my back hurting with this. And Gabriel James won't be complaining about his back hurting when he has one of those brand new tag team titles that we introduced later this season.
Well, I guess then you might be getting maybe some new luggage, to carry those championship belts around, right? You're gonna need some luggage to carry.
Next time you see me next month, I'll probably have this belt on this shoulder and a really nice tag team championship belt on this shoulder.
RTG 2 belts. I guess we'll have to call you RTG 2 belt, huh?
Two-time
Well, you know
Hall
what?
of Famer and two-time champion.
Well, you know what? Maybe if you win those tag belts at All Out War 2, maybe I should induct you again into the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame.
I wouldn't be against that.
You wouldn't be?
No. Well, you can as a singles competitor, you can induct me as a tag team champion. You can induct me as a GM.
You know what? I mean, I guess we'll have to find out. We know All Out War 2 is coming up real soon, so I guess
2 weeks.
See you next month, huh? For another ceremony.
Hey, if I win, I'm down.
Yeah, you know what?
Can't give it to a loser.
You know what, sir? You said it to me last time, but you know what? I'm gonna go and basically turn the tables on you and say, you know what? If you win this time, I'll see you next month for another ceremony.
All right. Well, now beyond keeping my career alive, now I've got something else to look up to. So
you'll be looking up. You'll definitely be looking up at the bright light, for sure. If that's the case, see you next month.
Tomorrow on the show, I'll be announcing who I'll be taking on at All Out War 2. So, and let's just put it this way: you guys can probably figure it out, but I'll give you a little taste of it. It's going to be a triple threat. Okay. And it's going to be somebody. It's going to be somebody in the company that Comatose has beaten, and it's going to be somebody in the company I've had a struggle beating, and it's going to be somebody that Comatose hasn't beaten.
Okay, well, you know what? I'll tell you what. You can find all that out on the BTW Instagram page. Check out tomorrow's show, YouTube, BTW8136. They just surpassed 3,000 subscribers. Congratulations to everybody in BTW on that accomplishment. Also, congratulations to RTG here coming up here. 89th member of our Hall of Fame. Final member of our 9th class. Not too bad. Not too shabby, right? Had a lot of people here in the chat. A lot of people talking. BTW is a red-hot product right now. It's the premier product in the West for the backyard wrestling circuit. They're making a lot of big moves. Blackout's been here with us. So BTW is definitely on the move. You definitely want to see what the Great West Revival has to offer and the new frontier. And definitely the chat is popping. Let me get to some people before we move on here. BES, thank you for giving us a Copper Dragon-like rating. 7 out of 10. Thank you very much. BES is awesome in the ring. Thank you, Mr. Kron. I will get there. Yes, I will get to 1,000 subscribers. There is no doubt about it. Thank you for that. People do not need to pray for me. People can pray for like world peace. They can pray for wars to end, but they don't have to pray for me to get it. No, seriously, people are praying for me to get to 1,000 subscribers. I'm like, it's okay. It's okay. I'll live. I'll go on. Blackout seems very sad about his drink prices going up. I don't think he seems too sad tonight. I do not think he seems too sad tonight. He seems like he's doing his job. He seems like he's on top. Yes. Oh, boy. The champion has gotten up. The champion is angry. And the champion, God. Oh, my
I think
God.
Frosty needs to put the Jack Daniels down and, stop drinking them.
He's not even legally allowed to drink Jack Daniels, though. He's not legally allowed. We can't encourage that on Sportswire. He's not legally allowed to drink it.
Yeah, well, that's a whole nother thing.
Well, I'll leave that at that. But
my thing with that is like if you're 18, you can sign up to go fight battles for this country. You should be able to drink if you want.
No, I got that. And listen, I mean, we certainly, if you do whatever you want in your home, as long as you're doing it, you're not bothering anybody.
If your parents are okay with it too,
Well, my parents aren't okay with me on Sportswire, but I do it anyway. But I'm really kidding. It's a joke. I own the platform. It's okay. Trust me. But Mr. Frost does like to say, if you're giving a title shot to who I think it is, but you'll have to tune in and find out. As a matter of fact, before we go one more time, you want to tune in right here to this place. So if I see you right now for the first time in the chat, I know a lot of people were here tonight. I had double digits on YouTube about 20 minutes ago. So if you're still here, that's the YouTube link for BTW. Go hit that sub button for me. Go hit that, as I see him at 3,000 subs. I want to get him to 3,100. I want to get him to 3,500. And I tell you what, when BTW gets to 3,500, I'm going to put BTW into the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. I'm going to put them as a company in the Hall of Fame. So now you got to go out there and you got to go get BTW into the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. We're going to make that happen because BTW is already at 3,000. And also, Jacob Frost said he lives on a farm that he owns, so he'll do whatever he wants. Yeah, I'm not going to argue with that. I'm definitely not arguing with that. And thank you for owning a farm. Thank you for obviously helping us in growing our food and all of our crops. We appreciate that. And thank you for all you do for us. Before we sign off, is there anything else, Champ, that you want to say to the audience?
Just want to say, and I'm a little disappointed Domados didn't come in here tonight.
I was wondering where was Comatose. I was kind of waiting for that punchline and didn't happen.
You've seen it. He's calling out he who he won't name. And, another wrestler has called out he who he won't name.
Yeah, I saw it.
If people are smart enough, they can figure out who each other's talking about. And I'm going to just throw it out there. All Out War 2. He who won't talk about who you won't talk about will be facing each other. So you guys figure it out. There'll be more announcements coming up, but you guys figure it out.
We got a couple more shows until All Out War 2. And
I was looking forward to saying something like that to Comatose in his to his face, but I guess he was too scared to come out here and meet me after he got his ass kicked. But yeah, it is what it is.
Well, you're going to be here next month. You're going to be here in a few weeks, and I'm sure you'll have something to say regardless. And you'll be here next week. You'll be here on the 13th of what's today, the 16th. So you'll be here 1 month from now. You'll be here 1 month from now, same time, same bat channel. And if what you say is going to happen and come to fruition, well, I guess we'll have another ceremony, I suppose.
And Thursday, I'll definitely probably be in the chat. So
you'll be in you sure you're not going to be busy just spending time with yourself and enjoying?
Well, I don't know. There is a Thursday night game. It is the Patriots and the Jets.
Not a great one. The Jets can't beat the Patriots, and the Patriots really aren't very good. But then again, they played Seattle very well. But yeah, I don't know. Well,
are you a Giants fan, Tom?
I'm not actually. I
Oh,
would.
okay.
I'm going to make everybody laugh for a second. I mean, so in New York City, we technically don't have a football team. Our team in New York is technically the Bills, but I
Right.
sort of go about it and say I kind of, for identity purposes, lean toward the Jets. But I kind of feel like in where I live, we don't really have a football team. But it's sort of the Jets if I were to pick one, really.
Okay.
Kind of, so.
So the team that the Niners beat 32-19
And
last week.
drubbed them. Yes, drubbed them last week on Monday night with no Christian McCaffrey. Yes, that was the team.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Aaron
Okay. All right.
Rodgers.
Yeah. Aaron Rodgers looked like he couldn't throw a football.
Aaron Rodgers looked like he had his usual relationship trouble off the field, similar to on the field. That's kind of what it was.
And he's killing my fantasy team because I got Garrett Wilson. So he needs to start throwing some freaking touchdowns to that guy.
He wasn't that great yesterday. He was better, but you're not getting what you got 3 years ago. But
yeah,
look, he was healthy the first 2 games, so hopefully for your sake, he'll be even more healthy this Thursday. But the Jets against New England historically has been, pretty woeful the past dozen years. We'll see.
I'll say, and New England's got a pretty good defense this year too. So
New England might be a little bit of a surprise. I don't think they'll be a playoff team, but they might be tough. And again, New England always beats the Jets. So we'll have to see. Last thing we'll get to, BCF3, Mad Jack, and Mikey D and Steven Storm are 10 out of 10 rating for me, and Jacob Frost 10 out of 10. Thank you for confirming 10 out of 10. Yes.
okay, Zill, I gotta disagree with that with the BCF3. I mean, I could see it Northwest Society being 10 out of 10, but come on. BCF3 is probably like a 3 out of 10. All right.
I'm gonna make everybody laugh tonight. I'm gonna make everybody laugh. So
all 3 of those are Steven Storm, not the other 2.
Well, Steven Storm's gonna, I'm sure, have a lot to say Thursday night, 10:30 p.m. But I'm gonna make everybody laugh. I'm gonna go with 2 things. I'm not gonna rate individuals in BTW, but I'm gonna give BTW 10 out of 10. And the reason I'm going to give BTW 10 out of 10, because a wrestler yesterday, I won't say who, said, well, maybe you should start like a PWI 500 of backyard underground wrestlers. I'm like, nah, I might know 500 of them, but ain't no way I'm ranking one over the other, because there's already a BYW hub and everybody gets up in arms about that. I love everybody. I'm taking Zilla's side, but just going BTW's 10 out of 10. Go check out BTW 8136 on YouTube. Check out BTW on Instagram, TikTok, TeePublic. Buy some merchandise. I'm going to buy my shirt next week. I got to get my BTW shirt, because if I don't, RTG is not coming back to Sportswire, and he won't come here for more Hall of Fame ceremony. So the floor is yours, champ. Take it away. All right.
So next time I come back in a month or whenever, I want to see an RTG shirt on you.
I'll get a BTW shirt. How about that? BTW.
Okay, that's good enough.
Fair enough. We'll take it.
Just as long as it's just make sure BTW is fine. Just make sure it's not like an RJS or a Dumatos shirt. You know, that's all I ask.
Well, I have a Comatose shirt, but I'll make sure to not wear that one when you're here. I'm sure Comatose, you wouldn't like to see that, but I do have a Comatose shirt. Maybe I'll wear that Thursday on the show, but we'll have to see. But we love the Comatose shirt. We love BTW. Congratulations to everybody again on 3,000 subs. I want to thank everybody in BTW here with us, and I am very excited regardless about tomorrow's show. I will be watching it. I will definitely be watching it on my phone on my way home to my next show tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. I'll also be here with Comatose, I'm sure, one of these days. And I'll be here with Steven Storm Thursday night, 10:30 p.m. Eastern time. Congratulations on all the success. Congratulations on the win at August Rush. We'll see if the momentum continues tomorrow. We'll also see if the momentum continues here coming up at All Out War 2. And thank you, Mr. Blackout, Mr. Champion, for being with us on Sportswire as well. And keep up the good work, everybody at BTW. And we'll see you here Thursday night.
All right. Sounds good. And Steven, don't blow it, buddy.
Ladies and gentlemen.
I was just going to say, don't bring BTW down. Have a good show, buddy. All right. Here, I'll send a bright light to you, okay? So we can.
We're giving him we're giving him a prime time slot. Thursday nights usually on Sportswire. I usually get some of the big names in the backyard circuit. So I'm counting on Steven. I usually get some of the biggest names you see. TBW, IMF. You see all the big names here. Eddie Exile was here. The legendary Eddie Exile was here last week. So usually we get big names. So I'm confident Steven Storm is going to definitely deliver, and he's going to have a lot to say. And I know that everybody is going to be tuned in. If I was a fan, I would be tuned in. But I thank everybody here. We were joined by RTG. He is the BTW Continental Champion. He's the general manager of BTW. He's a BTW Hall of Famer, and he is now the newest member of the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. Our final member of our 9th class, also Blackout, was in the house right behind him. He is the reigning defending BTW champion. He is RJS's Kryptonite. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice figuratively, literally, where all wrestling matters. If you're on Sportswire Radio, I'm here 8:30 tomorrow. I'm here with Mr. Sick Rick of the GBYWN. And also support BTW, or else Blackout will come after you. And certainly you won't get that Mick Frost from Wendy's or whatever they call it now in McDonald's. But thank you so much, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are on the number one global radio station that is Sportswire.